All right, good morning, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Obviously coming off the weekend, it was an emotional weekend for us. Going into the game, we knew it would be senior day. Our guys, an incredible group. Playing in their last game. At Doak Campbell Stadium. Obviously there was a lot of it. Going into the game, didn't necessarily start the way we wanted to. Fell behind. In the game early, you had a few mistakes. Things that obviously can't have there in those situations. And then unfortunately, Jordan went down there in the first quarter, and you had a season-ending injury, and you really it was devastating just for him, for who he is, for what he's meant to this program. The impact that he's made on and off the field, to know that his last play at Florida State has happened. I mean, it's hard, and with all of the emotions, and you felt the support, you felt the care, the concern for him. He was remarkable. I mean, his composure, on the field, in pain, all things. He kept telling me, Coach, I'm good. I'm good. Told him, Mom, I'm okay, and I'm good. And as he got up, and you see, really, I think both teams came out there to just to wish him off, and wish him well, in his recovery. And I mean, it's he's had a great mindset, throughout this, with an incredibly difficult circumstance. But you felt for him, and just like I told our team, there afterwards, and we talked about it in the post game. When you're in that game and you're playing an opponent you're better than, and you have all the shoulds of what should happen and what it should look like, and you find yourself behind, and then you find yourself with the unbelievable amount of adversity, and just the mental state. Any of our players that were there on the field, it shook a couple of them, and it takes a little bit of time just to kind of regather yourself. And I know, Corey asked me afterwards, like, how do you block it out? You don't block it out. You can't. It's not on this team. Not being a part of who we are and what we're about. You can't just say, hey, it's not just next man up. That's not real here, because you care about every one of them. I mean, Kalen DeLoach not being available to play Saturday was something that hurt me too, because I wanted, his last play at Doak Campbell's already happened, and that's just, you want it for every one of those guys to be able to fulfill their journey and each of those experiences. But it shows you how fragile it can be, and how important every play is throughout these guys' career. And but what I was so proud of, it was the response of our team, and you saw a team that continued to come together, and it was a special it was a special game to be a part of, even though it's one that you saw the response. We scored, whatever it was, 58-0 run, against a team we needed to beat handily, and it wasn't perfect. We had a lot of mistakes, a lot of things to clean up, but you felt the team come together, and to know that their hearts and their thoughts and all those things were, everybody was concerned for Jordan, throughout the game, and I gave him an update of all the information I had, right after the game. But it was an emotional weekend, and as we come into this week, it's another emotional game. I know we talked about it a few weeks ago. It's one of the two. And everything, I love this game being the last game of the season, because everything we've done throughout this season builds for this one, and it builds for this moment, for this time, and we've seen it. We've seen it dang near all. I mean, we've had highs, we've had lows, we've had adversity, we had challenges, but the one thing that's been constant has been this team, and just the work that they put in, how much they care about each other, the family that's been built here, and I am for as sad as I am for Jordan, and obviously him not being available, I'm so excited for this team. I'm excited for them to go get the opportunity to put their identity on display. I'm excited for Tate. He did a wonderful job coming in. We talked about it yesterday. I mean, it didn't shock anybody that was on our team because we've seen him do that before. We've seen him on the road. We've seen him, had to lead us back, from being down. We've seen him, have to be ready when his number's called, and he's always answered that. And these last few years as he's grown, I mean, you've seen him answer that call whenever he's got the opportunity, and you see it in how he prepares throughout the course of the week. And we got a football team that's going to rally around and behind him. It was good to get Brock was able to get some work there. He's missed the better part of the season with an injury, not being available to play, and obviously he's got once he got cleared, it was great to be able to give him a couple series of work for him to get out there, and did some good things. Scored his first touchdown, which was awesome for him. And I was proud of our defense. You look at the second half, I think it was 6 straight 3-and-outs. I mean, the only time they got a first down was on that last drive. And then I was really pleased with just even the last play. We talk about playing 60 minutes. We were able to get a lot of newcomers in the game, and to be able to block the last kick and to see guys return it for a touchdown. And it was a pretty cool experience for them. But as it leads into this week, I mean, it's everything that we have, and we know we got one more game after this. We get to play for a conference championship, and what we do with this week will put us in position for what's ahead. But everything that we have is going into our preparation this week to go be better than what we've been. We know we have to go to a hostile environment, and it's going to be all the challenges, all the adversity, everything that's ahead. We got a team that embraces that. And that's what I've loved about watching them grow. I love the character of this team, and I'm excited to see them go play. And we're gonna have a great week of prep. As we continue to build and continue to get better. But I can tell you that yesterday was a real day. And it was one that we lifted, we squatted, we went out, we had practice, and you felt it. And I'm excited to see these guys continue to respond. And we know the challenges are ahead, but I believe in this group.
First question will be Ira to your right.
On that note, I think fans have had a hard time processing, and probably some media processing the last 48 hours. Was it a challenge to get the guys refocused yesterday, and how did you see them do that?
No, they came in yesterday with purpose. Everybody has. I mean, we all are. Like I said, this is truly a family, and this is our guys care about each other. And when you have, one of the elite leaders, one of the, Jordan will be talked about forever in this program, and what I love is that it's not necessarily going to be just about his playing ability. It's going to be about who he is, and I think you feel that impact, and so there's concern. A lot of guys have got a chance to go and see him and spend some time with him, and so and he's sent his message to the team, and make sure he's communicated throughout this weekend. But there's also an expectation, and there's a responsibility that we have for him. Because he's been such a huge part of this journey, and we've got work to do, and that's something that he's echoed, we've echoed, and we got to go put it in, and that's what we've been built on, and that's what we're going to continue to do. And so it wasn't necessarily refocus. It's just making sure that as a team we talk about the things that have happened, and where we go from here and how we do it is what we control. And so I thought our guys came with great purpose yesterday, and I was pleased with the work that I saw. It's guys know what needs to be done.
Come to Essex, on your left.
You mentioned you guys have been through a lot, and the Florida rivalry is always interesting. But have you ever been in a game like before where both quarterbacks kind of go down the week before and just kind of doesn't change the dynamic of the game, but kind of changes like the complexity of the game a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's just to think about both sides. I can't recall that, whether that's something I've experienced in my career, but ultimately, I mean, we don't. the guys that step out on that field, offense, defense, special teams. I mean, that's what's going to be ahead of us. And to get a little bit of insight on their quarterback. After coming in later in the game, he did some good things. Was efficient with the ball. Showed off athleticism and speed. As a ball carrier. And so I mean, it's a guy that's been in their system for a couple of years, and obviously he's getting his shot. So. Is an offense that has really good playmakers. They got a couple of probably the best receivers that we've gone against, or a couple in that world. I think a couple of guys at LSU are pretty good too. So I mean it's like they're in that spectrum. But a couple of NFL running backs. They're big up front. It's an offense that you see that they've been doing a good job here. These last 4 or 5 weeks. Being putting points on the board. So I mean, we got to control things we can control, and to prepare, for what we expect, and then be able to react to anything that might be unexpected.
How is life different for a quarterback when the whole week is around them? They go take snap one versus being thrown into a game, especially in unexpected circumstances.
Yeah, I mean it's you try to make it to where the mindset is always the same, because you never know, and you never know when you're going to be called upon. But it's probably different for them, and it's just for Tate to go through it. I mean, it's the same message that I've had for him for however many 3 years now, and you get your opportunity, just go be you, and he is. I've got the utmost confidence in what he'll do. I remember last year on that trip to Louisville, and he went in, and even there right before the half, he had an interception, and probably there were a lot of questions and doubt on the outside of what it could be or what it would be, and I've have a lot of confidence in him, and I've watched him grow over the years. I've been fortunate to be able to have somebody that's been in this system since we got here. He was in that first signing class. He got thrown in the fire. He started a game. And it was maybe the second or third game in his career. And it wasn't a real fun start. And I hate that we had to put him in that position, to be honest with you. But he's really done a lot of great things, and he stuck through the journey. He has continued to prepare, and I mean it is his time. And I've got a lot of confidence in Tate because of what I've seen, and the work ethic he has. This football team has a lot of confidence in him, and you saw it the other night. I mean, he comes in and he made a couple of incredible throws, across the field, on rhythm, on time. He's. I think people underestimate just his athleticism and what he can do. Extending plays, and I think that's something that as we go into this week, I mean he just needs to prepare to go be him, and trust all the things that we've done up to this point, and we'll do a good job as coaches, making sure that we try to put him in the best position. But I mean he's done everything in this offense, and he's been preparing for it.
Taking it for Brendan.
Following up on that, and you alluded to it, that Tate has grown in his time here, and he's gone through. I guess what areas have you seen him improve on since day one?
Really all. I mean he was. He came in. Tate's had a lot of success, playing this game, and I mean he was I think 7A, Georgia State Player of the Year, won a state championship, player for state championship his senior year. Him and Jaheim Bell were teammates, and I mean he's done some wonderful things, and he knows what it takes. And what I appreciate is just the way he's competed, right? But also not necessarily gotten discouraged with not being a starter. He's been behind one of the best players to play at Florida State. I think Jordan is in that conversation. I mean, he's special, and but Tate has stayed the course, and he's continued to work. His confidence, his understanding. He's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger. He can make all the throws, but also the ownership of the offense is something that I think he has a really good understanding of. And does that mean that there were a couple mistakes the other day that showed up? I mean, that's we've all had them, and but he understands immediately if there is a mistake, this is the reason why. And so that's something that is sometimes hard with a young quarterback, but he's already been able to go through that process. So I think it's a high ceiling for what he'll be able to do.
You mentioned Kalen. Was holding him out, was that something more precautionary, hoping he'll be more available the next few weeks? And then Renardo and Maurice, I think, were two guys who got hurt Saturday. Where are they coming into this week?
Yeah, we'll see where it's at. I'm definitely be very hopeful with Kalen. I mean, I do expect him to be ready, but you'll see where that goes throughout the course of this week. Same with Renardo and Maurice. I mean, it felt good about where we were on Sunday, and as we get closer to kickoff, we'll see what that looks like.
We'll go to Ryan in the back right.
Coach, when you first got here, Tate was a guy you moved on very quickly. Just in the film, what you saw from him in his time at Valdosta High, what really jumped off the page at you, and what made you want to offer him?
Well, actually, I offered him at Memphis. And so, he was one of the guys that I liked a lot coming out. I mean, I liked just as a playmaking ability. I thought he was, you see somebody that can live in the pocket and throw on time, throw in rhythm. He's not afraid of being able to step into a throw. We saw that last year. I mean, there was a couple throws in the Louisville game where he had a guy coming, right at him, and he stepped into the throw and made big time plays. And so he is a quarterback. I mean, like I said, his athleticism is something that you see it tall, not the biggest guy in the world. You see him kind of moving around. You don't know just ultimately how athletic he is, but when you I mean, he's one of our faster players on our team. I mean, he can run, he can move, he can do all those things, and so it's exciting to see his growth. And just like I said, the determination and patience that he was willing to show, just continuing to grow. I mean, he's a son of a coach, and he challenges himself, and he's hard on himself, and his growth and what he's pushing to do. But I also think that's what allows him in uncomfortable situations to be able to come in and flourish. And he's earned it. And so I'm excited to see it.
Another Tate question for you. What's it say about him in the year 2023 that a fourth-year kid is still here, willing to be a backup, even behind one of the better players in the country? Because that just doesn't seem to happen a lot around the country anymore. They go and try to find another place to play. I guess, what does that say about him? And what does it say about your belief in him and his belief in you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think all factors have to be involved in that. And you see it, and we've experienced it. I mean, guys that if they don't get it now, they're gonna go and try to find a better opportunity. And I think Tate has believed in the growth and that he sees in himself. I think he believed in the development, because if you don't love the place, if you don't enjoy who you do it with, if you're not having a good time in where you are, then you're going to leave. And I think Tate knows that it's competitive. It's going to every year you're going to continue to try to bring guys in that are going to try to be the one, and that's playing quarterback. That's all part of it. And if you don't embrace that challenge, then it's probably not the right position and definitely not the right place. But he's always valued that, and like I said, I think he believes in the development that he could receive here, and I think it showed up. I mean, because when he's had his opportunities, I mean, he's been as efficient, and the time of back or mop up or whatever you want to call it. But when you go in and you have to play, and the efficiencies he's had has been really good. And last year, like I said, in the one opportunity where we needed him, I mean, we're down on the road, what was it, third game of the season, and, he brought us back. And so he is one that, even after last season, he could have said, I'm going to go find a place where I can start, because there's a lot of places he could have started this year. But he also, how much he cares about this team, and obviously enjoys the experience here, and he's been willing, and he's gotten better throughout the course of this year, through the course of last spring, and so I think we've seen glimpses of that and just how he's been able to play when he's got his opportunities so far this season.
Next will be Aslan on third row.
There's paralysis by analysis for some guys, where if they have too much time to think about something, it might hinder them. How different will it be for Tate to kind of know, like an entire week, that it's his show to run versus some of the spot duty he's had in the past?
Yeah, I mean, he's played this game, and he's had to, you play at the top level in the state of Georgia, and you have to go through that experience as a high school player. He's played in pressure-packed situations where he's known he's been the guy. Now, is it a step up when you're in college? Yes, but he's had to do that before too. I mean, this will not be his first start, that he's taken. Like I said, the one a few years ago, oh, absolutely, it was probably a real challenge for where he was, just being a young kid, getting thrown into it. But he's been preparing for this, and I'm not worried about any of the other factors. And just go play his game, and I've got very confident what that'll look like.
Next will be Jordan, third row on your left.
Coach, for a while, Florida State had a fractured fan base. What did it mean, the support from the Florida State community to Jordan, in the coming days since the injury?
What did you say about the fan?
It was kind of a fractured fan base when you got here. People were...
Oh, fractured. Okay. I was trying to figure out what word that was. All right. We have an unbelievable fan base, and it's one that, to see the support this year. I mean, I said we had finished the season with five straight sellouts, and it's pretty big, and especially in the fact that we had 3 straight home games in the month of October. That's challenging, and but I mean, you see the support of this team, and it's not only, well, yeah, we're undefeated. Great, yes, but it's also how they play. It's how much they care. The way these guys value representing Florida State in general, and to all the past players, to everybody that we get a chance to step on that field and speak for in how we play. I mean, it's big, and obviously when a player goes down, and Jordan has earned every bit of the support that he's gotten, because he's real and he's true, and he's a remarkable young man, and I mean it's been overwhelming support from all. I've had most of the head coaches in the league have texted me or reached out, just that their teams, their programs, the university, they're praying for Jordan, and they're thinking about him because they know the competitor. And sometimes when you compete against somebody, you get a different insight of who they are. And I mean, he's pure and true, and so he's been remarkable. And I appreciate our fan base just for all the support throughout the season. And obviously it was definitely on display this Saturday, and it continues to be on display daily.
We'll go back to Essex.
In the first 9 games, the secondary allowed 4 touchdowns. In the last 2 games, they've allowed 4. Is that something that just needs to be cleaned up, or just kind of a little regression to the mean as well?
Well, I mean, there's plays that we'd like to have back, things that we can learn from, things where we can get better. I think we've been really, really good in our pass defense, throughout the course of the year, and we don't ever want to give up a touchdown, but sometimes that happens, and but you can still learn from the why and obviously how we can improve on that, and I know that's what our guys are excited to work on as we go through this week.
I know statistically Florida's defense has struggled, but when they play well, when they are good, what is it that allows them to be good? What does stand out about them when they're playing?
Yeah, I mean it's a huge defensive front. I mean they're massive. They got. Number one is probably one of the better defensive linemen that we've faced this year. You're very active. I think he's got 6.5 sacks, 11 TFLs. He's a really good player. We saw him last year, but he's done a nice job for him. But you see the size that they have up front. I mean, it's a big group. Got a couple big corners that are aggressive in nature and how they play, and you have done a good job. For the most part throughout the course of the season. I mean. And what they do, but they're going to run. They're going to. It's a big athletic group that's playing on defense, and they do a lot schematically. It's something that's going to be a big week of preparation for us because of the volume of things that they're going to try to throw at you. So we've got to try to make sure we settle that down for all of our guys. As we get through the week. But this is it's a talented group.
All right, we got time for 2 more. Let's go to Alberto in the back.
Hey, Coach, could you tell us the extent of the conversations you've had with Jordan personally since your post-game presser Saturday night?
I went and saw him, afterwards, and just being there for him, and just helping him to understand the support, because it's tough. I mean, when as much as anything else, that you're for a program that you love so much that you're not going to get the chance to go and play, play another snap. I mean, it's just hard. And but he texted me first thing Sunday morning, and it was something that was. I'm not going to go into all that it said, but I mean it was special. And I actually I shared it with the team there in our meeting Sunday afternoon, and I mean it's just he's a remarkable young man, and his belief in his teammates, his belief in our program and what we do, he's been a living example of it. And like I told our team, you never know when your last play is going to be, but the one thing in life that you never want to experience is regret. And I believe Jordan is very he's very composed and comfortable in where he is, in one of the most challenging situations you could ever experience, because he doesn't have regrets. Like, he gave all. And it was in every practice and every game and everything that he did. And so knowing that, the journey of being a player at Florida State, he's not going to be able to make that impact on the field anymore. But there's not a regret in how and what he did. And unfortunately, it came, his time ended a little bit before, our last game. But he's still going to make an impact, and that's just what's so special about him. And he's making sure that he's communicating and continuing to lead in every way that he can right now.
Last one will be Corey.
There's another undefeated team that thinks the world's out to get them right now. Their coach is suspended and all that. When you guys lost your starting quarterback, people decided, oh, their season's over. And there are people thinking even if you go 13-0, you might not get to go to the playoff because of what you could do in late December or January in the playoff. How much do you use that with this team to be like, hey, man, this season's still going and we're still really good and we have everything out in front of us? Is it a rallying cry that it does feel like the rest of the country stopped believing in Florida State late in the first quarter on Saturday night?
Yeah, I mean, it's always about us. And through challenge, through adversity, through, whatever the perspective is on outside of people that think that know our team, I live with them every day. I watch them every day. I watch their work. I watch, their heart, the ability, all the things that are important to winning football games and, being able to sustain success. You never want to see anybody go down, but I can't control what anybody on the outside says about our team, but we can make our impression by how we play and how we do the things that we do. So, I can't go through the season and say, well, don't worry about those things, and then, now this week, now it's going to be important, because that's not real. We are going to be true to who we are. And these guys, to say that they don't hear it, no, that's not real either, right? I mean, I'm sure they hear it, but, thank God the opinions of others don't dictate what our actions are going to be, right? This team, a year ago, nobody thought we were worth a crap, right? They proved them wrong, right? We're big expectations coming into this season, and, people waiting for us to slip and fall. They're continuing to get better, right? Quarterback goes down. Oh, well, that must be it. That's why we get to play the game. That's why we get to go to work. That's why we get to continue to push and build and go be all that I know that this team can be. So we'll take care of the rest out there on the field and what we do. And if we take care of our business and continue to grow and get better, I'll put no limits to what this team can accomplish, because I believe in them. And, I believe if we can put that on display, then maybe a few more will believe in what they can do.
Thank you,
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one.
You have a great one.